clicked the go live button.
Okay.
I think we're live. Are we live? I think we're live. I think we're live. I think we're live. I think we are live. I think we're live. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Morning. We are live today with Coco, somebody that they claim we look alike. So I cannot say that I don't know him. He's my brother. But today he is my guest because I have dragged him here to come and talk about how to finish and publish your book. He just released a book on Amazon, and somehow he was telling me that his friends think it's hard to do and all that kind of thing, and yeah, so we're going to have that conversation today, how to finish. So today, this is for you, the authors. This is for you who are thinking of writing a book, or you have written a book, or you're halfway through your book. I'll not name names because I know one or two people, or maybe three or four people that are halfway through their books, but they've not published it. So this one is for you today. We're going to talk about, finishing your book and getting it published on Amazon at the very least. So welcome, Coco. His official name is Odokwo Bassey, but his house name is Coco.
Good morning.
Morning. So how are you today?
I'm not in the house right now. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Where are you?
Oh, right now I'm at home in Calabar.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
So let me stop sharing. So that's our faces. So tell us about your book, your latest book or your new book.
all right. My new book is No Girl is Out of Your League. It's the Geek's Guide to Getting the Girl. It's like a dating advice book for the teenagers, possibly young men who may feel they don't measure up to the uh, societal Hollywood standards of being handsome and
Tall,
hunky
dark,
and
and
all
handsome.
whatnot.
BMW.
Yeah, right. No car, no fancy flat and everything. It's it was more or less it was like a reflection of my experiences and then just trying to advise a younger version of myself,
Okay.
trying to point out all the things that I learned along the way, which a lot of times surprised me in how somebody that looked like me was not that whatever, but just by share
Oh,
a
you're
few
handsome.
things and
You're a
then
handsome man.
we're related, so you have to say that.
Uh,
But like early on in my teens, after a while, keep looking at yourself and you think, yeah, maybe, if your nose was longer, if your face was narrower, maybe this, maybe that, maybe you should go to the gym and bulk up or something. You keep thinking about the ways that make yourself more attractive. But at a certain point, I just said, like, well, why am I? This is me, and that acceptance came with a sense of freedom and with a little bit of confidence, and it changed my dating life immensely in ways that surprised me, surprised people that were close to me, surprised girls I went out with because at the beginning it was not like, oh, who is this guy? And then
Yeah,
next thing
let
we're
me
an
let me
item
read
and
what it says at the back of your book. Let me see. It says a fun and easy to read self-help book on dating for young men and teenagers. This book is written by a short, crooked-toothed, bulgy-eyed man who always found himself dating the most beautiful girls in the neighborhood, much to the horror and disgust of his handsome, richer, better dressed friends. And the girl was usually surprised too. It provides practical advice on how to enter the dating world for the rest of us normal guys. And it says, so what if you're not a GQ model and your brain short circuits when a pretty girl asks for directions? Or perhaps you dance like an epileptic octopus. Big deal. You can still be the man of her dreams. And on and on and on. So that's generally what the book is about. And you learn the pickup line that always works, all about the dreaded friend zone, where to find the best girls, and how to get closer physically and emotionally, and more. So enjoy the book, have fun out there, and when you get the girl, do write and tell me about it. So my first question: are you a dating advice expert?
I never thought of myself as that. No, I am not a dating advisor. I do not go around, but I have the experience. I have been I dated quite a few people, and strangely, I became close to practically everybody. Every girl I went out with, I am still in contact with. It, it's honestly, it was a problem when I was married because uh, I felt that dating it was there has to be it was about building a connection with another human being,
Okay, so let me add,
and
let me
I
so
don't think
what
it.
I see from what you're saying is, because we're talking about finishing your book and getting it published. So, one, you don't have to be an expert. Two, you have to have
No.
you've experienced something, or you have a different way of looking at something, or you have a different experience from most other people on a particular subject. And three, you also have that self-reflection to actually somehow be able to identify that, oh, this way that I do things is actually different from what other people are doing. And that kind of makes your story now valuable, or makes your experience now valuable, something that you can actually share with other people.
Well, the thing is, this is my second book. This is a self-help book. My first book was just a pure novel. But for writing a self-help book, it implies that you have some understanding of the thing you're talking about. And gaining understanding, it doesn't always mean that you've studied it, you went to school. If you gain understanding from experience. Now, I didn't set out to say, okay, I'm going to write this book. Somebody who I will not name bullied me into writing this book based on her recognition of what I understood. Giving dating advice, yes, I give that a lot to my friends. I have, you know, tried to reconcile quite a few relationships before, tried to settle people's things, and but the understanding that I used to write this book was based on my belief that yeah, okay, I understand where I got it right. I understand where a lot of these people, a lot of the young people are getting it wrong.
Mm.
And yeah, it's at a certain age you see all the mistakes you made, and you see all the things that you could have done differently. You see the things that worked. If you just reflect in your life, you see what worked for you, and you might understand why it worked for you. Sometimes you may not understand why. Yeah, I don't claim to understand everything. I put out what I know. The things that I understand, yeah, I said I understand it. But there's a one second. There's a caveat in the book where I just point out that, well, as a guy, you will never understand women. Don't even waste your time trying to, just keep that on the back of your mind. There are a lot of things you can do that will make women like you, make women. But what will work for this girl, the next girl might attack you with a knife or something if you do that same thing. It's let's not say girls, but human beings are different. Trying to understand the human race is not possible. You do the best you can. I mean, like in the book, I'm not saying that you have 100% success rate, but if you have
I think there's
a
also that
5% success
also
rate, and
self-awareness as well. That
what?
self-awareness, I said I think the book helps to, build that self-awareness and that confidence in yourself, that look, it doesn't, it's
Yeah,
not really like how you look or whatever, but it's more like how you treat the person that you're talking to, and
it's about
how
building.
you,
It's about building a relationship with other human beings. I believe it goes beyond. It's right now. It's packaged as a dating book, but I believe it goes way beyond that. It can go. It's a way of interacting with human beings every day of your life. It will help with that. I was saying before that the success rate, if you say the success rate is 5%, that means you have to talk to 100 girls, you end up with five. But if you don't talk to anybody and your success rate is 100%, you will get none. Doesn't
Mhm.
it's about being ready to meet people, to interact with people, learn, present yourself in a way that people can look at you and say, okay, I don't like, I want to work with, I don't want to work with, I want to be with, I don't want to be with. But the other human being will not make that choice if they don't meet you at all. So it's about
Telling
um,
people to try, telling people to invest in relationships, or
yes, yes.
and yeah, I think most dating books, the way I understand it, is like, oh, just say this thing, do this pickup line, stand like this, and and all that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is different in that sense. Yes, I know I bullied you into writing the book, but I don't think I succeeded properly because you didn't write the title that I told you that was the best title for the book.
But you were narrowing it down to finding love. Now, I cannot
How to talk to
tell a
girls
human
and
being.
win their love. That was the original title.
I
I stand by that title. But anyway, the book is
to win
called.
somebody's love, you don't. How can you win 10 people's love?
Okay, so
It's
it's okay. So this is called "No Girl is Out of Your League," the Geek's Guide to
first
Get.
of all, as a human being, as a fellow human being, nobody is out of your league. No girl, as a girl, no guy is out of your league. If you think that that is who you like, well, you can go up and meet the person,
That's a
and
good one,
it's
because
now up
I
to.
was the other day I was writing, just today or yesterday, I said I was writing some goals, and I thought to myself, one of the goals would be the people I would like to meet, and so I found myself saying, this one is, where will I see Oprah to meet her now? Maybe I should start with, oh, I don't, so I know what you mean about, you might just think, this one is out of my league, or I don't think I can meet this person, or I don't think I can, or this person, would even be interested in, having anything to do with me, or any conversation with me, or doing business with me, or whatever, that kind of thing.
But put yourself in Oprah's shoes. She had met all the most. How many people would she have met that have come trying to get something from her? Trying to. Oh, I have this business. Come and invest. I have this. I need money for this. I need. So she would have now placed everybody in that category. But if she finds somebody who is like Ah, Oprah, nice woman. How are you? What is happening? Just that likes being with her without wanting anything from her.
Mm.
You find out that she doesn't have as many offers as you think. She may not have as many suitors as you think. The more beautiful a girl is, the more out of everybody's league she is. And then in the end, the poor girl will not have anybody loitering around her window trying to meet her because everybody's not like, oh, that was beauty queen. Oh, her father is rich. Oh, that she drives. And then they all leave her alone. Next thing, the girl, the girl is just there. And then one short, bow-legged guy will just stroll up and say two things. And
make her
next
feel
thing, everybody's looking at them
wonderful.
what is that? How did he end up with that girl? Because nobody else tried. So if in business terms, if the same way, if you have a good idea and you get stuck in an elevator with Bill Gates, you don't have to bully him into like, oh, look, you have to invest in this now. You have to invest. If you make friends with him, not asking for anything immediately, then try and build a relationship. It's about building relationships. That's what it is. It's about building relationships to the point where the Bill Gates or the Oprah Winfrey will ask you, what are you doing? How can I help you? As a friend. As a friend. So, you know, in the book there was the thing about, you mentioned the dreaded friend zone. It's not a bad place. Because
they're like, she's put you in the friend zone, you know, like that's the, oh, what a terrible thing, you know, now she's in the friend zone.
Fine. But that beautiful girl is now my friend. You think all her friends will be ugly? It's not a bad place to be. You will get access to other people through her. You know, in the same way in the business aspect, if you are friends with Oprah, even if she doesn't say, okay, what is your thing? You are friends with Oprah, and then maybe another person says, oh, I have a publishing house. Another of her friends has a publishing house. You could just be like, oh, you have a publishing house. This guy is a writer. That's it. The opportunity opens up.
That's wonderful.
If you have it, it's building a network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your writing. Tell me about the, you know, because the statistics tell us that 80% of the people on earth have thought of writing a book. Obviously, they haven't. So what do you think is that obstacle that stands in the way, you know, of writing the book? Maybe they got started, or where do you think the main obstacle is?
The thing about writing, and I had to learn this from other people myself. It's a continuity thing. Established writers, big people that I read their manuals and their talks and all, like Stephen King, will say like, oh, write 20 minutes in a day. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of time. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. Don't do more than 2 hours. Nobody write from morning till night. But the only thing they say is write every day.
So that's
write
the consistency.
1 page today. Yes, that is it. That is the consistency. And when people say they have an idea, is a very big thing. And I get them. I get a big idea. Oh, I'm going to write about this, and the idea might be something that would probably be like 50 chapters of things, and everything can come to you at once. You can't put it down in one sitting. It's hard to get an idea written down beginning to end at once, unless you're writing a pamphlet. So what happens with people is that they'll start, and then maybe
And
They
then
can write maybe for a whole day, they
you know,
stop,
the
and then
funny
they'll
thing,
go
I had
away.
this conversation with somebody where in fact, it was actually a Kaite said it as well, that when she's writing, because she is also a writer, an unpublished one. I hope you are there listening to this. So anyway, she has a novel or so. She said if she's writing and she gets to up to a point, and then she leaves it for maybe a month or 2 weeks or whatever, by the time she comes back, the story has changed because you are not in that flow
That's it.
of thought and everything. Yeah, so the story changes, and I actually
Right.
have, a couple of other friends who have started and then they stopped. Sometimes it's hard for you to get back into that flow or that train of thought. So really, that's one of the first things,
It's
one of the first tips anybody should take from this. If you are writing, just be consistent. Even if you write half a paragraph a day, but you are writing and continue so that that flow of thought
yeah.
comes from you.
The flow of thought that if you write for 30 minutes today and you stop, and then you go, and then tomorrow you come again to start writing from where you picked off, where your train of thought will not have completely left you. The story might actually start changing. Your story doesn't end the way you thought it would end at the beginning. It
That's
usually changes along the way, but the
That's
changes
true.
will be small, little shifts here. Oh, maybe this would have. Why not
Yeah,
this
yeah,
or
which
something
is
like
which
that?
is the creativity anyway, which is good anyway.
So, if every day, if every day at 10 o'clock in the morning, your brain enters the space of this book, it will bring out all the uh, inner thoughts about the issue that you may not have uh, articulated, and you just
Mm.
continue your story. And that's where you find yourself at junctions that you just say, why not try this road? Maybe if it went like this. But then when you run out of time or you're tired or whatever, you stop and then you go again tomorrow. Between today and tomorrow, other things would have come into your head, things that you would have experienced in your day, your 24 hours of the day would
It's
have
so
come into
funny
your head that
because
would
you
affect.
you have these thoughts like they're like almost like percolating in your mind, and then also
Yeah,
sometimes they're not even like you said, they're not articulate. But then
yeah.
once you've stopped and then overnight and all that, the thing is cooking
It's changed a bit.
cooking in your
Yes, it's
subconscious.
changed a bit. It's
And then
developed some more.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Okay, but let me go step back. But you
So if
have
you
to
can do that
outline
every
it. Does it help you with your writing practice? Do you work with an outline or
I've
just
worked with
write?
an outline. I've worked um well, like I mentioned Stephen King. He specifies that his own is fly by the seat of your pants. As you sit down, you don't know what you're writing. He just sits down and starts writing, and the story goes off into its own tangent by itself.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's the same
am
thing.
not fully
Except
like
you
that.
start from the beginning or the middle. Some both start from the middle. So even if you are writing and you think it has to start from once
Um,
upon a time,
the
you
previous book that I wrote, the my best student, it started from the end.
know. Mm,
I wrote I wrote one page of just a situation. I was thinking about doing a short. I just wrote a situation, one page, and then I now started adding stuff, and then it eventually built the whole story up to that situation. How did they get there? So the end was the first thing I wrote. It was like a page and a half, and I'm lucky I wrote that down because the problem of not writing, I wrote it down and I forgot about it.
so
I'm
you
talking
would not
about
have
like
had, you would not have known where you were going with the story if you had not already written where it was going to end.
I wrote it on a page and a half. I just wrote that scene on a page and a half, and I forgot about it for like 3.5 years. I did not touch it, and I wanted to work on a project, and then I didn't. I had another script that I had written, which was full length and everything. It was a whole story. But based on budget, it was too complicated. And I now thought,
Okay, so
okay,
that
I
you're
need to,
talking about your film, a film project now.
yes, a film project. The script I had for that film was long, it was complicated, it was, so on a producer's perspective, the cost of making it was going to be high. So I thought, oh, let me write that short, remember that short thing I wrote? Let me just film a short. I was going to do a 5 minute, 10 minute short video. But then I was not like, let me put it in context. Let me put this in context. And I started writing backwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I had to stop and I wrote the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So it built up to that thing. But so
Okay.
that one came from the end to
So,
the
so
beginning. The
the
other
answer
script,
to that,
the first script I wrote and sold was written in I think 5 days, 6 days. It was written in 6 days, and it was. I would get up and I would go to my friend's office and I would just lock down and I would write and I would rest and I would write and I would rest. It's it's not the best way to write. It's not the best way. It but that one was, it was possible because that was a structured story. I had mapped out how it was going to go. So
okay.
that's when you can do like mass production writing. When you have, okay, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, the boy is married, girl is this. You have the components
Yeah,
written down.
yeah, yeah.
That's assembly line writing, right?
Well, for
But if
anybody like who is in the online space or who is in the business space and wants to use a book to launch something, or he wants to use a book to sell something or to establish their authority in a particular subject, you can absolutely use that kind of writing where you would outline and then you just write,
yes,
and that can be quite quick, that can go quite quickly, even with the what you did with this
yeah, that's why,
with your book, this
yeah,
book that
that's
you
why I differentiate
just
that.
released.
That's
I
why I
was saying this
differentiate
book
that
that you
from
just
the first book
released
I wrote.
also, you wrote it quite quickly, you wrote it quite quickly because it was almost like it's one of those things I've been
Yes,
talking the people I've been
because
talking
and
to,
then we,
is one of those things that is a topic that is already something that if they wake you up from sleep, you can talk about it, you
yeah,
know. So it's something that you can write about, and that, that's usually a good first book to write, something that is one of those things that you're passionate about. You don't need to research and plan, and you can then just write and write
if you
quickly.
for subject matter books that deal with a topic that somebody is versed in, the person should have an idea of what he wants to cover in that topic, the points of interest that he feels he needs to cover. Those should form the outline. It's like giving a lecture in a seminar. You use a slide. A slide
Mm,
would do, you just use one line, but it's your ability to explain that line, to expand on it.
mm,
That's the way this writing goes. So you have your outline of the book. The outline of the book was what? It was 15 lines or something. This line, that line. But then you take this line and then you just talk about it.
yeah,
You talk about
yeah.
it as like you would explain it to a friend. You would explain it to a colleague. You just explain it, and that's how you flesh out the book,
That's a
especially
good
for
one.
self-help.
I
And
have
then
one book in me now that I've actually outlined very extensively. So I think I'm going to do that. And I think I might even record it and then transcribe it or something. Anyway, that's just
yeah, yeah, I was just, I mean, you said you had it. That was what I was just going to say to you. This is, get your recorder and just speak the book, speak the chapter, take the line that you have written, and then read that line out, and then continue talking on that
mm,
line.
mm,
Just
mm,
explain that line. just flesh it out. And I've not yet tried it, but it's something I'm considering. That if you've recorded the thing, you have your audio of it. You probably to put it on Google text to speech, and then you have it on text, and then you can edit it as you see fit. But
Yeah,
speaking, for me,
there's
speaking
many tools. There's about
is
three
the
or four
easiest
tools.
way to get your ideas out.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
speak your ideas, you can just keep flowing and talking and talking. And if you talk to yourself for like 30 minutes, you might have written half a book. You don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I can add to that is that when you're talking, you just talk to somebody is your ideal client, or somebody that you feel like, talk as if you're talking to somebody that you know or want to work with, or the kind of person that you want to work with, and talk, like you said, as if you're talking to a friend and explaining the thing to them, so that
Yeah.
it comes out, natural and all that. And then we have tools. There's Tammy.com, rev.com, Happy Scribe, Descript, many tools that you can use to
Yeah.
take, upload your audio, and then
And
it will now spit out the text for you. Then you can then just edit it, and then you have your
yeah.
book, in no time.
So, yeah, because, well, truthfully, typing is tedious to people, including myself, even though I type a bit fast.
I
But
know
that's
people who still write their book by hand, so there's no, you're laughing. There's people who they are writers, they like writing and they prefer to write by hand. So they've been writing the book by hand, and it's like taking everlasting. So I think this would be a good, right now, I think on your phone, and you can record your
yes.
book. That's how people are able these days to put out a book, a short, because what you have is actually a short book, and within about a month or so, maybe less, it was published, and like we're trying to say, you can put your book out there quickly. So now you've written the book, what next?
Oh, yeah. The biggest issue with the books from here. I'm in Nigeria right now. Well, not right now. I'm in Nigeria always. The biggest the biggest issue we have is we have developed a bad reputation internationally, and a lot of little things have been closed to us. Simple thing like having an Amazon account, it's a big issue. Can't get that. So the publishing aspect of it, I wrote the book, the first book, not this one. I wrote my first book, and I sat on it and I sat on it, and nothing happened. Then it was like, how do you publish this thing? The Nigerian publishing thing environment is still about, okay, bring money, we'll go and we'll get a printer, we'll print 500 copies, and then we
And
go
then
out
you do
and
a
sell them.
party, you do a book launch, and
And it's not a joke. I was working in a printing company like up to 2017. I was working in a printing and publishing company. And yes, we did get those orders. Somebody is coming to do 500 copies of a book. Yes, we go, we'll print, and um, we have cupboards,
full
cupboards
of
filled
book.
with books that 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 we actually sell to this waste paper. That's
Oh
what they're
wow.
sold as.
Oh
Yes, to
wow.
get rid of after somebody has because it's publishing for the 20th century, not the 21st. Publishing and having it on paper, getting
Yeah, and
500 or
yeah,
1,000
yeah. I mean,
copies
gone are the days where when
is
you publish, you
yeah,
have a garage full of your books, and you're like,
yeah, that.
yeah, all these
But now,
books
but now,
and all that
but
kind
now
of.
you have Amazon that is telling you, all right, give us your book. When this person wants one copy, we will print one and deliver it to that person. So it's not a waste. If they can do that, then there's no reason why because before somebody is going to have to invest to print those minimum of 500 copies. It always started from 500. You couldn't do less than that. Somebody has to invest money to do that. The publisher will now have to read your book and really believe that he can sell it before he will put down that money. All the books that we printed, what they were like, not many, they were like 5 authors that we printed. They were all self-published. It was all about, I've written this book and I'm going to publish it. I don't know how I'm going to sell it, but I believe I'm going to publish it. Like I said, that's how we ended up with stacks of unclaimed books. Yeah, because it, even if you have you can have faith in yourself, fine, but it can be misplaced. So if you've done the book and then you have no idea of how to sell it, you're stuck with it. If you are doing the hard copy publishing. So in the current climate,
so we've talked about the writing.
Yeah.
When we talked about the publishing or the getting it published, but apart from getting it published, you also have to think about how are you going to sell it. And
that is it. That's what
that you're saying is that Amazon or similar print on demand things are a good way to go. Self-publishing with the print on demand, Amazon being the primary one, would be the best way to go because you don't have to have the expense of publishing on or of publishing hundreds of copies.
Sorry, I lost a bit of the connection.
Yeah, I was still talking anyway. So there's the planning the book, there's finishing the book, there's having the writing habits, and then now we're talking about the publishing and going not doing it the 20th century way, as you said.
Yeah.
Like doing it, where you are the one who is kind of taking control of your own book publishing.
Yeah.
I mean, even here with a few people, there's people who still want somebody to take them by the hand, because they're not like people like me who would just say, oh, I can DIY it, or people like you who say, oh, I can DIY it.
Run to YouTube, see how to publish. You run to YouTube, how to do this.
So there's people who don't want to go through that. They don't want to go through that step, So then they would need to have somebody to take them by the hand, somebody to take them, say, okay, now you need to make a cover. Now you need to lay out your book. Now you need an editor.
Now that's all. That is a service that would have been provided by a publishing house, right? In the last century, like I said. In our current climate, all that can be provided by me, sitting down with my laptop, because the overheads are not there. But if you want the work, the publishing is actually work. Getting it formatted, and then the cover, and then the uploading, then monitoring the sales, and then the online push. Because good or bad, you have to market your book yourself for online publishing. It's up to you if you sell 1 copy or 1 million copies.
Yeah.
But Amazon has said that they will make the book available. Yeah, Amazon has said they will make the book available. It's your job to send people to get it. That's the way things work now. So as a writer, as a creative person, you will not want to, a lot of people will not want to deal with the administrative issues, which is what they are. It's administrative work that is involved in even just publishing, before you talk about marketing,
before you talk about fulfillment, that kind of thing. When they buy, then you have to fulfill.
About promotion. Just the steps to call, like you mentioned, they would have to write with hand, and all that. So there are a lot of steps that have to be taken. The registration, Amazon even helped to get you the ISBN. That's it's the book registration number for every written work
I'll
on the
tell you
planet.
what, my
They,
first,
they,
I first published in 2006, and it was completely different.
Mhm.
Even though Amazon existed, even though there was, all these things were available, but they were even not as easy as they were then. I remember SBN, um, all kinds of things. We see in those days, in 2006, that's what, almost 15 years ago, you still had to pay for somebody to do that legwork for you. But now things are so much easier. Are you still there? So anyway, we were talking about Coco will also probably soon join us back. But we're talking about marketing your book or finishing your book and publishing it. So one, we talked about the consistency of writing. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you can write 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, but just be consistent so that your train of thought and the flow continues without breaking. Another one was talking about your writing habits as well. Should you outline? Should you start from the beginning and all that kind of thing? So we talked about that. Then now we're talking about publishing and doing it in a way that's not that doesn't cost you as much money as it would have 10, 20 years ago. And then we're also now talking about you taking
I'm
responsibility.
sorry, it's being a bit
Okay, I'm
dodgy.
just summarizing what we talked about. So we're talking about now you taking responsibility for the promotion of your book. So how are you promoting your own book? I know we've had some conversations about how you're going to promote your own book. So tell me
But
ideas of how people can promote their book. Okay, they've done it. It's now on Amazon and all that kind of thing. What would you say?
now Amazon, yeah, if it goes on Amazon, if people look for your book, it's there. But you have to understand there are millions of books on Amazon, right? So your book will be there. I mean, maybe buried down at the bottom of wherever. For your book to be visible, it depends on the algorithms of Amazon that Amazon works with. It depends on how you set it up in terms of who your target audience is. You have the option to put it in categories where people would look for them. All right, deciding that. Then also the response to your book, the initial response. Now, right now, my book, the book I've just released, it's free for download. Why I'm doing that is that, and why most people do that is, I need people to go and read the book and then comment on it. If you download the book from Amazon, you can read it and rate it and whatever and give it 5 stars, 4 stars, or what. Now those ratings, that is a very important aspect
Okay,
a
so
very important
your
aspect
book
of
now
the
your
of
book
the
now is
Amazon
on
algorithm.
okay, so your book now is on what do they call it? It's on Amazon, and it is okay, it's
For the
free,
Kindle download,
or
it's
if
free.
you are a member of Kindle Unlimited, it's free. If you are um if you want to buy it on Kindle, it's £3 83. So I think that's like $5 or so, or $4. And then the paperback is about $8, which is about £6 12. Now, so what you're going to do, or what you're just about to do, is to make it free on Amazon so that people can download it for free for a short period. That's what you're saying. And that way you get a lot of people reading your book who can then leave reviews, and then when they leave their reviews, then Amazon shows it to more people, and your ranking increases. So that's one of the tactics that you can
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
to, and I think that's especially useful when the book is just out, and I think once in a while you can do that just to boost your rankings. But I think at the time when the book just comes out, then you just want to, that probably first 3-4 weeks when the book is out, then you then run one of those campaigns through Amazon Kindle. It does help. It does help. So what else? What other tactics? Apart from harassing friends and family.
Well, it's mostly the harassing, but the harassing goes beyond just the family. We actually have uh, reading associations, reading groups that accept people's books for the period when it's free. You have a mailing list of people. They formed a book club. Yeah, that's what they are. They have book clubs that will read a book and review it and discuss it amongst themselves.
Okay.
So what I do is you send it to them. Say, oh look, this book is free. You can take it now, download it, read it, give me some stars, let me know what you think,
So it's free
give
for
me
the
some
next
reviews.
2 days, or it's free for the next 24 hours.
So you just you give it out first. You give it out first. And if your book is good, which is Amazon is not going to help you write it, but if you write a good book and people say, oh, it was good, oh, it was interesting, it was funny, give their comments and everything, give their ratings. The more good, the better your ratings, the more they are, the higher you go on the Amazon. If you go high enough, you will be the first thing that anybody that logs into Amazon sees. Now that is visibility. That is
Yeah,
where
yeah.
your sales will go through the roof.
Okay, so that's
So the
where
higher
I
you
went
get,
on when I published my book, we did, there was a big push at the beginning, and we got to the bestseller list on for on in different categories, for that period, because we were pushing it, and a lot of people were buying and downloading. I think it was like 99p, or it wasn't free, it was 99p. And yeah, and that really helps. That really helps to get the book on, and now you can, and then that way you then say, what do they call it? I'm now an Amazon bestseller, which I can claim now. That, oh,
right. I'm sorry, I have been having some issues here with the audio. I can barely hear what you're saying. I
okay,
don't think maybe you are hearing me.
that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so 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 you have this book promotion, which is starting which you've set up to start tomorrow, and is going on to the 29th, and your book is going to be free. The No Girl is
Yeah.
Out of Your League book will be free on Amazon from tomorrow the 25th to the 29th. And then you're going to encourage people to download it and read it, and read,
To,
leave a
to
review.
download and to comment, the key thing is to
Yeah.
beg people to comment on your book.
Mm,
If you download the book as a if you register that you downloaded it, you have the right to put a comment on it. All right.
mm,
You can't just go up there and write a comment on it, but you have to have bought it and downloaded it first.
so
Yeah. So that's when it becomes a valid comment for the book, a valid review. So that's the thing, is to get people's feedback on
mm,
on the books.
and that really helps with the algorithms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Another thing I was discussing with you was creating a launch team. Somebody, people. a launch team, getting people to join your launch team. They could be either
Yeah.
fellow authors or just friends and family, where you can give them even like this. You can get them to buy this free book, download it, read it, and leave comments for you. So if you um gather these people, 30, 40 people or whatever, and then at the same time they all download it, and at the same time they all, so you can either put them in a Facebook group or in a WhatsApp group and say, oh, please, everybody go download now, go leave your reviews now, and then you just, have that relationship going on with the launch team. You can also get some traction on your book.
In terms of the download, in terms of the downloads, getting 50 people to comment on your book, 50 reviews is a lot of reviews for a new book. It's a lot of reviews. It's a very good thing if you can get a number higher than 10 to review your book and give you, yeah, it really,
So I
it
mean,
will really boost your sales.
I mean, like my first few reviews for the book I was selling, made it to bestseller. My first few reviews were friends, so they were friends. It was only later that I started seeing strangers leaving reviews on the book. But it was they were friends. They were people I knew that I could say, oh, have you read my book? Please, can you go and leave a review for me? So yes, you would have to do some legwork when you are first starting
Yeah,
to
yeah. I mean,
get people.
on the reviews I have for my previous book, I know the people, I know them, I know them personally, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Most people that just buy the book from that are not related, are not invested in you. A lot of times they will buy the book, they enjoy the book, and yes, I've enjoyed it, and I'll keep that joy to myself, and they go on with their lives.
yeah, yeah. So like
That's why
have a
the launch team is to get people that will take that time to put in a word for you based on what they've read. So
even some
the
of the
book
best
clubs,
books.
they
I was saying some of the best
mm-hmm.
selling books that we see online. If you read the reviews, you know that either they are part of the person's online community, or they are people. Maybe the person is their coach, or the person they've done their person's course, or they are in their Facebook group or something. They are already part of that person's world. They might not know them personally,
Yeah.
but then it might be like, oh, the person that taught me this in 1945,
No, I mean, yeah.
is writing a
No,
book.
there are people like okay, this one attended school, my secondary school. This one attended. I know this person from here.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if it's a bit removed, I can always find a link to how that person
yeah.
is related
I
to me.
mean, I would
So,
say,
but if you can get enough people to comment on it, and then you can get strangers, people that are unbiased. If you have a good product, you have people that are unbiased to comment on your book. It goes a long way. It goes a really long way.
it was a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember, I mean, gonna say shout out to my people who went to my secondary school with me, because I can count. They left several reviews, they bought the book and that kind of thing. And these are people I hadn't seen
Yeah.
for like 30, 40 years, but just, them, it's like, oh, one of us has written a book, that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
anything.
yes, that's the attitude. That's how it was.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that really helps. But still speaking of marketing your book, or marketing your book, I would say not only marketing your book, but marketing with your book. And this is just my own take on it. Well, not my own take, but this is my observation that it takes a while for you to make an income or a living from just selling your books, unless you are Stephen King, as we mentioned, or I don't know, is very rare. So there's more. What we find, or the benefits really of writing a book, it always goes beyond the book, in the sense that it opens doors for you to other things. It opens doors for you to, I mean, like if you were to stand up and call yourself, I know you're not doing that, but like writing a book now about dating, you could actually have a a product that is related to dating, for example, or you could have a digital product, or you can get yourself on some interviews because of the book. So the book actually opens a lot of doors for you. And so why I'm saying that is because when you're writing your book, it's good to have a plan to say, what is the purpose of this book? What's the purpose of this book, or what am I hoping to get from doing this book? Like now, I can trace the work that I do today to myself publishing the book, but if I count in hundreds, I don't think I've sold very few copies of the actual physical book, but the book has led to the work that I'm doing today, because it gives me that credibility and it's helped me to help other people. So that is another purpose of the book. Now, if you're somebody who is like a serial writer, then definitely you can make an income from um writing, but it's a numbers game more than anything with this kind of way of writing. Not to discourage anybody from writing, but rather the opposite, to encourage people to say it's not that hard to put your book out there. And if you make a plan, your book can actually make you more money down the road, that is both sales of your book as well as other things that you would
Well, we mentioned it earlier in our discussion today. We talked about, that how we can write easier by using audio. If somebody adopts that method, and the person has a lot of ideas, you can be releasing short stories every week or something that you recorded over an hour, and every week you can have one short story out, and over time, like I have people I follow on YouTube, not writers, but I have like one or two YouTubers that I subscribe to their channel, and even if it comes out, I have to watch it because some are funny, some are just stupid or whatever. But if you are releasing consistently, then you build up a followership. So over time, you will have people that will be waiting for your next publication. So if you write one book and sit down, well, if that is the only source of income, you will die of hunger. There is no, it's not going to be easy. But if you have,
but I mean, some people have different reasons
but
why
people,
they write.
huh?
Some people write for legacy. I said people have different reasons for writing. Some people write for legacy. Some people write because they just want to, they have a message they want to put out there.
No,
So
no. What I was saying is, as you continue writing, you continue releasing. As people find your future books, they tend to go back to see what you wrote before.
yeah, yeah, that's
Yes.
true. Yeah,
So you will just keep selling more the more items you have released. So it's to keep working, it's to keep writing. With the publishing aspect, like I was like it's a problem for us here, but it's even being combated. There are other online
but there are ways around it.
publishing
But there are ways around it.
houses that have come up in Nigeria, Okada Books, and
Yes, so there are ways around it, and if you want to,
yes,
you are in Nigeria and you want
there are ways.
help,
There are ways.
you can get in touch with Koko, Odokwo Bassey. Your email is odokwo@yahoo.com. Is that?
Odokwo@yahoo.com.
Yes, ODOKWO, odokwo@yahoo.com. If you have a book and you're ready to publish and you need some help and you're in Nigeria or in Africa and you just don't know how to, what's your next stage is going to be, or even planning your marketing or whatever, you can get in touch with Odokwo Bassey. Odokwo Koko.
I'm so sorry, I cannot hear.
I think can you hear me? I've already said what I've said anyway. So
Yeah.
I've said what I've said, so just to say that you have this you are able to provide consultancy to people who are interested in publishing their own book. But from tomorrow, No Girl is Out of Your League is available on Amazon. Grab your copy. I'm going to, of course, also share this video. So by the time you watch this video, possibly it's already out. It's going to be free on Amazon from the 25th to the 29th. And that is $0.00, pounds, whatever. And then you can just grab a copy and do us a big favor and leave. It's a very short book as well. Do us a favor and leave a review, and so that the family wealth will increase.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so
well, I look forward to doing a lot more.
Any final words? If somebody wants to write now, or somebody wants to publish their book, or what would you say they can do right now? Now.
If you have an idea, that's the thing. You can start writing now. You can write in a you can. I still have paper and pen lying around. It still works. Anything. If you have any ideas, write them down. You don't need to write for 10 hours straight. It's not a medical exam or anything. Just
Second thing is, what if
share your thoughts and share your experiences in life.
Okay, so the next question, what if you are halfway through your book? What would you say to somebody who is already halfway through their book? That one, I would just say they should just contact you. If they're already halfway through or nearly done, or just need help over that final hurdle, get in touch and let's get that book finished and published.
Story from the beginning. I know that in trying to pick up a book that a job that I had started before, when I started reading it from the beginning, I was mentally changing the whole story as I was going along. Because as we mentioned earlier, your stories will form in your head, and you just need to give them a little breathing space every day. If you have a story for a long time, you will not want to tell that story again. If you leave it as it was, static for months. So it will be hard to just say, oh, pick it up and continue. No, I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend read it. Read it and then think about what you...
That's why I was saying that they should get in touch with you. If they are halfway through, or they are stuck somehow, they should get in touch with you, because I think then you would need a bit of help to get over that hump. You maybe need a fresh set of eyes or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, especially again, you really show it to somebody. Let them say, "Oh, you're going in the right direction," or "No, I don't think it's." Get another person's view if you are stuck. And then have the what if discussion with yourself. Because in every situation, what if this happened? What if that? What if the piano fell from the sky and landed on this person's head? Think of any way your story can change direction. It's the surprises that will... Well, if you're going to do a piano falling on somebody's head, you have to have some context of why it happened. But you could let the piano fall first and then later on explain why it fell. And let the audience first of all wonder, what am I just reading? Why did this happen? Let the audience question what they're experiencing in your book.
Now you're going into writing coaching. But anyway, I think, we're over an hour now. So I think we're going to have to stop here. So anybody who wants to, you have a book and you need some help, or you just need to have a conversation, get in touch with Odokwo at yahoo.com. Odokwo, Odokwo at yahoo.com, and have a chat or a conversation, and no obligation, no whatever, just, maybe just fresh eyes and
Definitely.
listening ears for you
I'll
to.
be happy to read. I'll be happy to recommend. I would be happy to discuss with anybody that reaches out.
And then, of
It's
course,
because it's like bouncing ideas of you. You can tell me your ideas, and it may help me as well. It's not
yeah, yeah.
nobody knows everything. So I would be very happy to help anybody who is having issues in any way I can. So
Okay.
feel free to get in touch.
And don't forget, no girl is out of your league. Nobody is out of your league, in fact. Yeah, grab your copy of the book from
No
the
girl, no businessman, no multi-billionaire. Nobody is out of your reach.
league. Yeah, yeah. All right. Grab your copy tomorrow. It will be free on Amazon. Just search for Odokwo Bassey or Koko Bassey, or search for the book. All right then. Thank you so much for listening. I was not able to go into the comments today, so I didn't really see who was there, but I'll go now that we're done. And thanks for coming, Coco. It was nice chatting with you. And have a good day and love to mom. Let's go off. Let's go off Facebook now.